The Storybook in the Attic. Near the tranquil lake Sadie lived an energetic young boy named Gandalf, whose curiosity led him to constantly pepper his parents and teachers with questions on topics ranging from why the sky is blue to how bees make honey. While Gandalf's inquisitiveness and lively nature often brought laughter, his restlessness also frequently got him into trouble. He simply could not sit still during lessons, often gazing out the window or sneaking out of the classroom when the teachers weren't paying attention. On a crisp autumn day, as maple leaves danced outside the classroom window, Gandalf was once again not listening to the teacher's lecture. He lightly tapped his toes on the floor and hummed softly to himself, completely oblivious to the class material. Suddenly, the teacher slammed her ruler on his desk yelling, "Gandalf! This is the third time this week I've caught you spacing out. You must pay attention in class. How else will you understand?" Gandalf lowered his head saying, "Sorry, teacher." The teacher pursed her lips. I think you need to properly learn how to focus. This weekend, you will volunteer at the library to tidy up books." That Saturday, as golden sunshine penetrated the morning mist, Gandalf begrudgingly dragged his heavy footsteps to the school's old library to receive his punishment. The head librarian assigned him to organize the piles of haphazard books in the attic upstairs, which had become more of a storage room over the years. Gandalf walked up the 2 flights of stairs to the attic. As he entered, he frowned at the dim space permeated with a moldy, dusty smell of old paper and ink. Gandalf sneezed as he started moving stacks of books. As the day wore on, his hands were covered in grime and his stomach rumbled from hunger. He would glance enviously out the window from time to time at his classmates playing outside. Just when Gandalf was about to die of boredom, a large shadow suddenly struck him from behind. An old book had fallen off the shelf onto him. As Gandalf groaned and rubbed his head, he looked down at the worn book on the floor. Its leather cover had cracked from age, the binding loose, and the title faded. Gandalf muttered, "This book is so unreadable. How can such a thick book be so heavy? No wonder it hurts so bad." Out of curiosity, he opened the book, only to discover it was completely empty without a single character inside. Gandalf felt tricked. He wrinkled his nose in contempt and scoffed. As he blew at the book, suddenly long strings of black writing began materializing on the pages, as if an invisible hand were writing. Gandalf jumped back in fright since he was alone. But taking a closer look, the words spelled out a story about the origins of all trees and flowers. Long ago, a lonely forest spirit wandered holding the first seed of the world, searching for someone willing to care for it. Many creatures dismissed the plain brown seed until a kind doe accepted and nurtured it for years until it grew into a towering oak tree, with lush branches that amazed animals with its grandeur. The forest spirit's gifted first seed brought beautiful, vibrant forests to the world. Delighted after reading the first tale, Gandalf eagerly turned the page. But it was blank again, at first disappointing him. Suddenly a new title appeared, How Birds Got Their Colors. The story described all the birds hosting a feast to honor the forest spirit for the blessings of the first oak tree. The plain gray birds danced joyfully around the spirit with gratitude. The spirit blessed each bird by letting vividly colored spots emerge from his fingertips to dot their feathers. Gandalf became engrossed in the fantastical tales, continuously flipping through the magical storybook. Each page presented a new story. After some time, he read many delightful stories, some whimsical, explaining rainbows or holes in Swiss cheese, others valuable fables imparting morals of kindness, courage and patience. Gandalf was immersed in the book's stories for a whole morning that he didn't hear the head librarian calling until she suddenly appeared beside him. "My goodness! Look how late it has gotten. You were supposed to be almost done for the day, yet hardly touched the books after an entire morning," she nagged as she surveyed the still disordered attic. When the librarian spotted the unmarked leather book on Gandalf's lap, surprise flashed in her eyes, but she said nothing, simply holding out her hand to reclaim the storybook. Gandalf reluctantly gave it back, pleading pitifully, "Can I come again tomorrow?" The librarian told him, "Of course you can come back, we need the extra help here. I'll even have other tasks if you work diligently. The reading lounge on the second floor desperately needs tidying and decorating. I believe you're special, Lucky Aura will do well setting up that room nicely. But you must focus." Gandalf gleefully promised to return on Sunday, then raced home to excitedly regale his parents about his book discovery at the library attic earlier. Though they dismissed his wild story as nonsense, his parents kindly heard him out before bedtime. Gandalf also realized how unbelievable it all sounded, so afterward kept mum about the magical tome. That evening, all through dinner and turning in for bed, he happily awaited tomorrow's trip back to the library to fix up the lounge so he could swiftly get the tedious chore done and hopefully uncover more stories from the wondrous book up in the attic. From then on, Gandalf volunteered at the library every weekend until his teacher forbid the activity as punishment. She could never comprehend why Gandalf loved spending time at the dreary old library when he clearly disliked reading. On the contrary, the head librarian warmly welcomed Gandalf to read books or assist with tasks. Gandalf sometimes helped create publicity posters to hang on walls and decorate the space. He even told stories to entertain other children. During this period, Gandalf unlocked many fantastical tales of wit and wisdom from the storybook in the attic that sparked his endless imagination. He retold the charming plots to his classmates. Eventually, Gandalf created his own intricate adventure stories starring courageous heroes, talking animals, and journeys through mystical lands to enrapture young children. In time, Gandalf's talent for storytelling and dedication toward revamping the library became the talk of the town. His boundless energy found constructive purpose in sharing reading and compelling stories. He resolved to become a professional storyteller when he grew up. And indeed, Gandalf did realize that aspiration. He became the most renowned master storyteller in town, traveling the country with his little storytelling shed on wheels, containing intricate dioramas, puppet theaters, and storytelling props to provide the gift of imagination for countless delighted audiences. Though none knew that the once-forgotten dusty tome harbored in the library attic kindled the spark that illuminated Gandalf's remarkable life as an inspirational storyteller. Alright, kids, today's story ends here. See you next time.